the northeast of Barani East is completely open, and it has one of the highest concentrations of artisanal mining we've seen anywhere on the property. And there's some big artisanal operations in this part of the world, you know. And so as we go in this direction, we'll just go down. You can see Barani East here. Now we've moved up another kilometer or two to the northeast. You can see the extent of the artisanal mining. It's all black cross hatched here. It's a little bit faded, but if you can see it. And we drilled a couple of holes going back about 2 years ago, and 2 holes in particular, we just drilled underneath the artisanal area. We got 2 grams or 1.97 grams over 30 meters. And that was only a 50-meter hole, and it was actually the bottom 30 meters that ended in mineralization. And there was another hole we drilled about 300 meters to the south of it that got 2 grams over 5 meters. But again, it was that bottom 5 meters that ended in mineralization. So there's something very significant going on along this northeast trend from Barani East all the way up to SOA. And it's seen very, very little exploration. And so we need to follow up this area.
What's up?
It's
what's
a little
up?
earlier
Can
target.
everybody hear
There's
me?
no resources here yet. But this is a
Can
really
everybody hear what's
excellent
going
target.
on the screen?
And so
That's the big
this
question.
would be our top 3 priority
desktop audio happening.
between
This is not
Mobi
meta
Farsight.
as of right now, so we can go ahead and just bring that down some. Let's see here.
And he had some very good drill success here. You know, the last few holes we
right.
drilled,
Hey,
1.8
don't look at
grams
that. Those are my
over
notes. You
30
can't see
30
that.
meters. Again, the zone ending in mineralization.
Oh boy.
We're seeing a lot of parallel flat plunging gold zones here. And
Drop the volume down for a moment. I'm going to bring him up here so I can see when meta comes up. All right, so you can hear me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are at. I am actually only here for a short amount of time. I'm currently at work. I'm actually at home. I'm not at work, but I'm working. They gave me about an hour off for me to come in, be able to take care of this. We're going to listen to Dr. George Palikaras, CEO of Metamaterials Inc., give his presentation at the International Investment Forum. I'm not expecting any new information out of this. This is just stuff I love to listen to. I love to hear. This is probably going to be by the book off of the investor presentation, so I'm not expecting a whole lot out of it. However, I do. Like I said, I like to hang out and do this stuff. So we're going to do it. We're going to get this recorded. We're going to get it out there so everybody can see it, because I'm well aware that there's people that can't hang out and watch the IIF all day long. They got tons of people that talk, those CEOs from all around the world, from countries all around the world. And it's really cool. If you ever do have the time to sit down and watch one of these, I suggest it. There's a lot of great information you can pull. So anyway, let me see. Let me get caught up over here. Good morning, Mitch Wiley. Bad Brains. What's up, brother? Alexander, what's going on? Raven Deer, what's happening? What's happening? Liberty Bibberty, what's going on? Serious question. When divvy? I don't know. When divvy? Mr. Tang Wu, thank you. It does sound good. Hi, Smokey. Just joined. Did you get a response from your email questioning the questionable wording in the S1? I did not. Unfortunately, I have not gotten any kind of answer. However, I did make a Twitter post, and I did make a StockTwits post. I did apologize. So it wasn't a matter of did I get an answer. I didn't get an email, but I did get an answer. I got an answer by reaching out to other people that would be able to answer this question. And it is not what I thought it was. It's only at the record date. Whatever shares you hold on the date of record, you will be accredited to your NextBridge shares. But if you try selling them after that, if you happen to find a market, they're going to go ahead and squash that. You're not going to receive them. You can't double dip, basically. There's no double dipping. You're not going to be able to hold through the record date and then sell off because there will be no market. They're canceling all trading. You cannot trade them. So basically, I read it wrong. We all kind of read it wrong, even though it does say what it says. It's just we took it out of context, and whatever shares we do hold, we'll have in NextBridge. So Mike Western, thank you, my dude. Awesome. I always appreciate that. Totally 100%. Let me see here. Joey Marine, what's up? What's up? Okay, the other thing I want to talk about, since we got that all out in the open, I apologize. I was wrong. It happens. I'm a human. We all learn together, right? Not a sponsor yet, but it's coming, guys. One day I'll be rich and famous, right? And I'll be a sponsored like by Sprite, like LeBron. Anywho, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah. So I appreciate all of the love and support everybody gave me. I've taken a lot of time off, and I've done a lot of soul searching as well. My dad, not my blood father, but my dad, the guy who's basically brought me up, he passed away, and I appreciate all of the outreach that you all gave me. It helped me pull through a hard, dark time. I had a lot of family around me that helped as well. He was suffering from cancer and had been for several years. He had been gone through remission once, and he had it just the second time through, he just couldn't do it. His body wouldn't let him do it. So he fought for a few months, and finally he didn't give up, but cancer took over. So I've taken some time off, and I'm still not fully with it yet. It's great. He's not in pain. But it sucks that you can't just go see him whenever you want, but it's all good. So with my soul searching, I also found that I'm not doing what I want to do with YouTube. I want to keep doing YouTube, but I'm not doing what I want to do. I want to educate people. I want to bring a lot of attention to the market and bring you guys the information you need. We're getting ready to start. Let's bring this over. Can everybody hear? Can y'all hear this?
Step in quite quickly.
All right, perfect. And our time is up, sadly. Jared, I want to thank you very much for participating in the
real quick. Can y'all hear this?
Great presentation. Absolutely great land
package you have there. So thank you for the update, and we'll be happy to follow your updates in the next few months.
Thank you, Julian. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Bailey's, can you all hear the computer? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Quick answers.
And now we will be moving on to our next presentation. This will be George Palikaras. He's CEO of Meta Materials. So we will just be onboarding him. And then as soon as the synchronization takes over, he will be able to take on. There you go. So just a few seconds and George should be with us.
All right, I'm recording it from here on out. You're not going to hear me. Let's do this.
We had him in. It seems like it's little maybe computer glitch or there we go. He's back with us. George, we can see you. Can we hear you?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect. We hear you good. So listen, you have the last presentation at 7:32. So you have about 28 to 30 minutes to make your presentation. So just share your screen and then you can start right away.
Will do. And thanks, everyone, for saving me for last.
Well, we're ready to go beyond with Meta. So go ahead.
Lovely. We have already gone beyond with the hurricane that hit us here in Nova Scotia. So we survived. So we may have some internet little glitches. So I apologize in advance if there's any interruption in the sound or the video.
Perfect. Okay, at the moment, all's good. We see your full screen and we see you.
Lovely. Good. So good afternoon or morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is George Palikaras. I'm the founding President and CEO of Meta Materials, Inc. Our NASDAQ symbol is MMAT. We are currently going through some incredible changes that I would love to share and some of our progress today with you. As it's customary, some forward-looking statements. I'm going to spare you from going through the nitty-gritty detail, but you can understand these are standard. So a little bit about Meta. So Meta is a unique, in our opinion, company. So Meta, we say that we deliver solutions for everyday life. But what we do is really the core science, which leads to breakthrough performance in smart materials. These smart materials unlock unprecedented product performance for our customers and for everybody. That's why we say for everyday life, that is the beneficiary of our products, allowing them to be better connected, more secure, and more healthy. And we do this by designing, developing, and manufacturing nanomaterials. These nanomaterials are not only highly functional, but they're also sustainable. And sustainability for us is core to our belief. For example, we try to do more with less. We have won several awards, including the Global Cleantech 100. This year, we were awarded by the Canadian government for Cleantech 50, and more to come. One of the interesting things is that we are the only metamaterial company today on the NASDAQ that has the capability to design, develop, and manufacture these smart materials. There is a number of other metamaterial companies that they're early stage, venture-backed, and certainly not on any exchange. So if you're an investor looking to take and participate in this incredible nascent market opportunity, which is estimated to reach $10 billion just for a metamaterial application, then Meta is where you would start. And we have several advantages. So the company started about 10 years ago. About a year ago, I presented at this forum. And since then, we have made incredible advances. We have grown acquisitively. We took into account the fact that we were going through a pandemic. Like everybody else, supply chains were stretched out. So last year, when we entered the NASDAQ with roughly $150 million in the coffers, we had the capital to execute. But to execute faster, we decided to acquire a company called Nanotech Security Corporation. And that brought us several things that we were missing. Number one, we brought highly skilled manufacturing experts. The company we acquired was in the security printing business, and they needed to be not only high volume means in the nanoscale, kilometer length roll-to-roll type processes, basically being able to print at the speed of printing newspapers, but also the skill set of making it precise, controllable, and also repeatable. So with that, instead of going and purchasing equipment, which would have been cheaper, we took a different approach. We acquired some assets that not only enabled us to scale up quickly, but also allow us to have more mature conversations with customers who, if you think of the market verticals we play in, anywhere between healthcare, automotive, consumer electronics, aerospace, and energy, they have very high demanding needs for volume and quality. So we have demonstrated these advantages throughout the last 10 years. As a result, we have won incredible trust and confidence that has been presented in press releases. This year alone, the last big press release was with PPG, a global supplier and developer of innovations, who is becoming fast part of our strategic network of suppliers. Previously, we had Covestro. Some people in Germany will know they spun out of Bayer Materials. Covestro is a leading company in polycarbonates. This year, we also announced a partnership with Sekisui, yet another tier 1 chemical company from Japan, on our 5G application. And finally, we are working on very large partnerships across the field that not only provide materials, that's kind of the least that they offer. which we still are looking for, better and better prices. However, the real strategic value comes from the network that they have. They open doors for us, and together we go after solutions that take commodity products and turn them into something very special. As a result, we have been expanding our capabilities through acquisitions. We have added not only in the nanoprinting side, not only on the design side, but now we are working on precision integration. And what that means is that a customer previously would come to us for a design, and we would source, this is like 5 years into the business, a supplier, and work collaboratively. This added a huge amount of time to kind of manage all those relationships and risk, because you had to rely on larger corporations that may not have moved as fast. Later, we added capabilities of nanoprinting, where through holography especially and lithography later on, we started being able to do pilot runs at scale and basically at the right cost, winning business. But then came the point where our customers started wanting more, and they wanted integrated solutions. So semi-finished products like a door of a microwave oven, or putting our product on a headlight, or putting film on eyewear that becomes smart display eyewear. And even further downstream, or in the mid to long term, where we see ourselves moving into a device and further adding value in a complete solution package. So together with all this, we have reached now over 450 active patents. These patents, if you think of them as options, they provide a huge amount of value, not only to ourselves, but our partnerships, because together we form alliances with companies that have multiple of those patents. So imagine a PPG, which has tens of thousands of patents, adding that component, that piece that binds it all together, let's say, allows us to basically think more strategically as we enter the marketplace. Now, I want to focus a little bit in the next section about what we are doing in the battery and the electric vehicle space. So in this space, it's one of the highest growth areas. We have been making batteries in the last 2 months in partnership with a company called Coulometrics. We have started working on LFP type batteries, and we will continue on doing NMC type batteries. So we have had 2 sets of reports. The results are very promising. One of the highlights here is integrating materials that make batteries more stable, more safe, and basically reducing the weight, reducing the cost. And one of the key challenges here is how do you make batteries safer so that higher energy density and charge rates can be allowed. So we have 2 technologies here. One we call NPOR, so nanoporous ceramic materials. Basically, the pore size is less than 100 nanometers. We control it very accurately. This material is special because it has demonstrated that it can shrink less than 1% when you heat it up, compared to other materials that increase sometimes 10 to 20%. And that is a critical aspect in a battery safety and electrochemical performance. And on the other side, plasma fusion, which is not just a material, it's actually a technology, which allows us to coat any material on any material. So think of this as a way to reach solid state batteries and basically coat multiple, very complex, both in stoichiometry and also design, coatings on films. We have talked about plasma fusion and NPOR in previous press releases. Each one represented an acquisition. Now there's incredible fit between what we're doing in the battery space as well as across the different functions of the company. From nanoweb, which is a transparent metal, to our medical applications, to our automotive applications, these materials here, even though they are destined for batteries, they have other use cases which are very, very promising. So continuing on with what is happening right now in the market, the specific segment for these separators is estimated to be worth $9 billion by 2025. And this corresponds to about 15.8 million meters square. Today, we have a small volume, if you can call that small, which is in the size of 400 millimeters with an external partner web roll at about 1 kilometer runs. The good news there is that you can take this 400 millimeter roll and slit it a few times, and it will still fit the envelope of the battery. So in essence, with one run, we get about 5 kilometers of film when it's slit. And it cost us, in terms of raw materials, roughly about $1 per square meter. And we have roughly 80% or more in terms of margin when we are out there pushing the product to the marketplace. We currently are working on licensing agreements. We have discussions with large corporations, tier 1s and tier 2s. There's a number of tests going on in the background. And we feel very strongly that in the coming months, we will see some exciting news. So I want to show you how the battery works and then talk a little bit about the statistics. So hopefully this plays for you. So what you see here is two types of batteries. The only difference is the same type of battery. The only difference is the separator. On the right is the control. On the left is the NPOR. So as you can see, there is a nail test, which penetrates deep with the right type of pressure. Basically, the material prevents the thermal runaway that happens during this nail penetration test. We are very excited about this, not because it increases safety, but it does not affect any other performance adversely, any other performance parameter. And you can see you get about 3 times more compression resistance than a typical plastic separator. So from this particular technology, as I mentioned, it's nanoporous. There's more than just one application. So this technology can be used in ultrafiltration. It can be used in our MRI machine as a raw material input. And Optodot managed to create a very extensive portfolio of 107 issued and 26 pending patents. 2 of them were recently issued in the US for NPOR and the NPOR ECS, which stands for basically electrode-coated separator. So with that, we are scaling our operations. We have seen already synergies between our other applications, and we're pushing forward with some of the design wins with certain customers. On the other side, we talked about plasma fusion. And here is what is happening. If you look at dissect a lithium-ion battery, you can see here the separator in silver. You can see the cathode in kind of yellowish color, the anode in kind of bluish color. And what you notice here is that there is a cathode current collector and the anode current collector. And you know, if you know your batteries, that you use aluminum and copper foils for the cathode versus the anode respectively. And typically these two materials account for 15% of the battery mass. In fact, copper is 3 times heavier than aluminum. And that alone accounts for the most weight in the battery by about 10%. So when you take that, and we have done some experiments with partnerships with DuPont, basically in a controlled way, you can have a very thin plastic that you can coat about 150 nanometers of copper on each side to replace a 15 micron copper foil. So not only you can achieve weight reduction, plastic is lighter than copper, thinner copper than a thicker copper, also lighter altogether. We have shown experimentally that we can increase the energy and power density. And in case of thermal runaway, as the previous example, when the plastic in the middle melts, we can basically increase the safety of these batteries. And finally, the lower copper improves basically recyclability and, of course, cost. So here we have one of our tools. One of the exciting things that has happened in the last few weeks is that we went from being able to make sheets to basically making rolls within this pilot scale program. And with the roll, we have high levels of confidence that we can basically now move to a larger machine. That's going to be several millions of dollars, which we plan to build over the next year or so. There are exciting synergies. This was the original reason why we were interested in plasma fusion, was to metallize nanoweb at a higher rate, but also Color Optic, our banknote materials, basically accelerating the speed of the line, reducing capex, and reducing the cost per square meter overall. So moving on to some exciting developments. So we have talked about in previous presentations with regards to our business. We have a solution called NanoWeb. NanoWeb is a transparent conductive film. Some of you may have already seen some of the applications, one of which is de-icing and defogging, and EMI shielding as a subsequent benefit. These layers of transparent film can be added onto any surface. Think of headlights. You can think of major components like windscreens on cars. You can think of side mirrors, inside mirrors, and so on. So with this progress has been made in the roll-to-roll production facility in Pleasanton, where we have shown to some of our key customers, not only how we produce them from our roll-to-roll line, but also basically meeting what we call the gold sample standard, which came from our wafer line. The applications extend to 5G and also EMI shielding. So on the 5G application, we have designed a unique solution that has won a global award. It basically allows signal to reflect and guide in places where there's no signal passively. So our passive window is totally transparent, so it does not change the face and the view for the inside people versus the outside people that view in. And it's 99% transparent optically, but it reflects about 99% the signal towards a direction that is of interest. So you can bend the beam 45 degrees, 30 degrees, and so on. We are currently working with network planners, operators, and we have announced a partnership with Sekisui for the rollout of this product, which is still in scale-up development. Similarly, from our production line, which you can see here on the top right corner, we have our machine that is producing NanoWeb for EMI shielding. So you're very familiar with a microwave oven. Has never been seen any kind of new innovation for maybe 30 plus years. We are the first company to develop a film that basically is totally transparent and adds more safety to an oven. There's been very large corporations that have tried doing this with indium tin oxide and other types of coatings and have not been able to pass the safety standards. To our knowledge, we are the first company in the world that has been able to showcase this level of transparency with passing and exceeding the safety aspects for EMI. The work that we have done here is ongoing. We have sent our microwave ovens to very large corporations, so there's discussions and developments happening in the background. And we are excited to be sharing more news later in the quarter, in Q4, of how we are faring. When you look at integration, as I mentioned earlier, smart glasses are a big thing. Some people call it the metaverse. So what we see here is a smart eyewear, and it's kind of a blown up version of it. You see the microprocessor, the chips, the batteries, etc. And what we have is a way to address a $1.5 billion market, which is augmented reality eyewear. We have major alliances like the Lazar Alliance, which brings us closer to other manufacturers. We have been working closely with Covestro over the last 5 years to basically automate and create a high volume one-stop shop that allows OEMs, you can imagine the largest OEMs in the world, coming and basically getting not only a design to their custom optic, but also combining it with unique prescription lens technology that covers more than 50% of the market. And we are the only company, as far as we understand it, in the world that can offer the optic, the lens casting, and all the basically components to get full lens designed and delivered in volume to our customers. And last but not least, which is a little bit more mid to long term, these materials, these innovations have breakthrough performance in enhancing imaging and sensing. And you see some examples here covering very large opportunities. On the glucose sensor, which is really, I would say, a lot of the focus and investment has gone into most recently. We have a new industrial device that is being tested, and we hope in Q4 to be testing this with humans and reporting these results later in Q4. On the imaging side, there's our VP of medical imaging, Panos Kosmas, is right now in Milan delivering a keynote with regards to brain scans and basically stroke detection, which is a parallel program that is happening alongside MammoWise. Last but not least, we have some updates in the security product line. As I mentioned, this is a very important product line, not only because of its sticky revenue. When you win contracts in this kind of business, typically they last for 5 to 7 years, but also because this is proof that you can make tiny nanostructures. And in this banknote example, you see about 5 billion pixels concentrated over this stripe. But the key is making it at large scale, reproducible in roll-to-roll format at the right price. And we are achieving that every week. We are very excited that we have currently completed our color optic design for stripe. There are about 6 companies that have received our samples. We're waiting for feedback from them. If the feedback is positive and we don't need to do some tweak in Q4, then we will be announcing officially the product launch of color optic. Color optic is critical for us because it can also be applied as a tack stamp. It can be applied as a strip or as a thread. So there are 3 product subcategories and form factors that can allow us to move forward. New purchase orders are expected, and we will be following up with some results. So since I'm running out of time, I can say this. So our company is very committed, especially our team. They're working around the clock. We have made some incredible progress. Unfortunately, I cannot share every single MOU and letter of intent and do every single press release of the progress that we have in the background. Those will come. I would like investors to still take a look with interest in the quarterly results. We are growing. We have grown in revenue, and we are making sure that our working capital is sufficient to take us forward. We have some incredible opportunities ahead for non-dilutive capital access. We believe that with support from some of our partners, we will be able to progress even further and push harder. So finally, just want to say thank you. We are the first and only metamaterials company on NASDAQ that is able to design and manufacture these nanostructures at volume. We're pushing to make sure that we double our volume by the end of next year. We're looking at Thurso becoming a 15 million meter square facility. Pleasanton is producing materials, so there's tweaking there based on customer feedback and specification. Our Halifax team is excited because we're about to launch our new facility in Highfield Park. This is a 68,000 square foot custom facility with a large number of clean rooms, focusing partly on holography, partly on semiconductors, and partly on the integration of optics and other components in smart materials. So that concludes my talk, but one last thing, save the date, November 17th is when we're gonna be doing our grand opening in Halifax. We hope to take some video and basically allow some people like analysts, etc., to visit us. We have a whole plan. It's coming together shortly. We will be making further announcements to that, but you can save the date for November 17th and hope to see some of you there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, George. Sadly, we don't have time for any questions. 7:59 here, Central European Time. In the name of the IIF, Upton Group, and GBC AG, we want to thank all attendees to taking part in it. Also, all presenters, you particularly. George, thank you very much for closing the event for us. And then we'll have a few closing words from Mario Rosa from the Upton Group.
Thank you very much, everybody, for.
Okay, really quick. I only got a couple of minutes. I got to get back to work. Wow. Yes, I'm going to be doing more videos, Mellow Motion. However, I'm not concentrating just on metamaterials anymore. I'm going to be widening out my horizon, but getting real broad here. As a matter of fact, my next video drop is probably going to be a full education video. I'm working on a full video series. We are titling it, boom, Price Action. I have got pages and pages of stuff already written out. I'm actually in the process of doing full records. I'm going to do edits, everything. So watch out for that series. It's going to be an actual like 4 or 5 part series just on price action alone, covering candlesticks, volume, covering trends, how to spot trends in and out, support and resistance, how to find it in the now, how to find it in the past, things like that. So that is going to be coming very soon. I want to get this produced. I can deal with that later. All right, I will be putting that video out. As you can see, it's on your screen. This is my editing program. I'll be putting that video out here in the next probably a few hours later on, but just as a preview. So one of the things I'm talking about in my upcoming video, candlesticks, this candlestick right here is extremely bullish. All right, this is a fully engulfing candlestick. This is a big run for VTNR. Now this is on a long time frame, but I knew that this was going to happen. I actually stepped back into the trade right there at $5.50 because this candle right here, which happened yesterday late in the evening, was a bullish engulfing candle over top of this bearish candle right here. This signaled a big run move. VTNR is an energy play, all right? So yes, I was kind of expecting that. But that's what I want to demonstrate with my new videos is how to find your next step trade. You'll use screeners and things like that, moving away from the trend, making quick plays. Quick 5-10% increases will actually help your portfolio tenfold very fast in like literally no time. So that's one of the things I want to teach. Anyhow, with that being said, yeah, Fibonacci extensions will come. We'll be talking about all of the different indicators, awesome indicator, OBV, MACD, volume. We'll talk about volume. Volume is a huge one that you need to know. But the first and foremost thing you need to know is price action is the key, and candlestick is the heart of all indicators. So if you don't know what a candlestick is and you don't know how to read what a candlestick is and how to judge what just 3 candlesticks can tell you, then you need to step away from trading and just start being a true on investor, which is fine too. Anyhow, all right, so Why November? I thought we were told October. Yeah, well, October means he's going to have it done. The facility could be done in October. They want to do a grand opening in November. Speaking of which, looks like I need to see if I can get a passport in a hurry. I don't know how long that takes. Yee! Anywho. The other thing I want to talk about really quick, really fast. It's super bullish when George actually makes the talk himself. When the CEO gets out there and he does that conversation with the investors, that is awesome. It's great to see his face. It's great to hear his voice. And all of the big time names that were watching that, that's what they said too. They don't want to see Rob Stone. They want to see George Palikaras. All right. So it was great to see him up there. I would love to see a couple of companies step in. I would love to see our name go into Mojo Lens being one of them. Look them up, MOJO Lens, LENS. Great company. They create contact lenses with a wearable. I've been following them pretty heavily over the last several months. I love that company. I think Metamaterials and them would combine forces and be great together. What else did I want to talk about? Meta, as far as it goes, nothing big really happening. We've kind of like hit the bottom, I'm hoping. Remember, market moves are going to control a lot of this. And let's see what Ortex says, just in the now. Open this bad boy up really quick. Off my screen. So we're at about 80, almost 80% utilization. Takes about almost 4.5 days to cover all the shares on loan. 23, almost 24 million shares are on loan. Because we're trading at like 67 cents, the short interest value is only $19 million, so $20 million. So keep that in mind. It does not going to cost anybody a whole lot of money if they actually wanted to make a big coverage move, and it wouldn't be a huge effect on the stock price. If a short squeeze is going to happen in the future, let it happen in the future. Stop concentrating on it now. Metamaterials is a hold. It's a long hold. And any of you guys who are in here expecting a squeeze, chill your damn pants out, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to watch a great company grow. You've got groundbreaking technology at an entry-level position. If you want to compare a chart to chart, go look at 3M. Look at the 3M chart. Let's do that right now, really fast. I don't want to do away with that one. We'll do away with that one for now. I can bring that up. MMM. Let's take a look at that in a longer time frame. Let's go monthly. This is 3M on a monthly time frame. It's currently trading at $111, but a couple of years back it was trading up at $250. But guess what? Back at 1985, it was trading down at $11. And then go further back, I'm sure it was trading even lower than that. I bet you it was in the, yep, there it is, $5. So just keep that in mind. And that's company for company. That's more derived what we are leaning towards, is a company like that, a materials company, right? So there you go. Yeah, love seeing from George too. Everybody who dropped me money in my live stream today, I love you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love everybody who didn't, but thank you so much. I never ask for it, and I always appreciate it when you give it to me. And of course, that will always go to expanding the channel. Everything I do I do it for you guys. So, yeah, with that being said, guys, I gotta go to work. I'm gonna get into so much trouble. I'm gonna end this live stream here. If I could figure out how to do it again. I will try and get a meta video out there. If not, the 29th. That's it. The 29th is the roll-to-roll demonstration for the SID, the Bay Area SID. I believe it's 9 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock my time. Be there or be freaking school.